When it was time to make a sequel to their blockbuster arcade game Donkey Kong, Nintendo turned to the ape's son. And as it turned out, he was a regular chip off the old barrel. This is Donkey Kong Jr. for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Released to arcades in 1982, just a year after the original Donkey Kong, this highly anticipated sequel represented some truly clever design from developer Shigeru Miyamoto. After rescuing Pauline from the libidinous paws of Donkey Kong in the original game, Miyamoto put the heroic Mario into the role of antagonist for the sequel. He's locked the heartbroken gorilla inside a cage, exacting a cold brand of iron-barred revenge against his furriest foe. But of course, Mario never expected Donkey Kong's descendant Inquisition. His three weapons are fear and surprise and ruthless efficiency. And fruit. His four weapons are... you get the idea. In addition to the clever narrative twist, Miyamoto also took the opportunity to evolve the gameplay foundation he'd laid in the original. If Donkey Kong was one of the first fully realized platformers, Donkey Kong Jr. was one of the first to push the concept forward. As with the first game, Donkey Kong Jr. is all about climbing. You have to progress from the lowest point of a level to its highest, thereby forcing Mario to retreat and move on to the next level. And of course, you do that by moving from platform to platform. Clearly, Jr. learned a lot from his dad, but the little guy also provides his own twist on Donkey Kong's established formula. Obviously, unlike Mario, Jr. is a monkey, and naturally that gives him an advantage Mario simply didn't have in the original. Jr.'s most useful skill is his ability to climb, and although running and jumping certainly plays a part in Donkey Kong Jr., the levels are mostly designed around climbing. Vines and chains dangle from on high in each of the game's levels, and if he wants to rescue his dad, Jr.'s gonna have to put his shimmying skills to work. Donkey Kong Jr. incorporates the mechanics of its predecessor with what, in retrospect, seems like their obvious and natural evolution. It's simultaneously familiar and new, evolving while staying within those traditional Donkey Kong disciplines. And along with its charming story, that's what makes Donkey Kong Jr. such a successful and thoroughly well-designed sequel. Now, of course, that's not to say the kid outdoes his old man. Classic as it may be, Donkey Kong Jr. isn't the transcendent gaming experience that Donkey Kong was. But really, to be fair, not many games are. And to its credit, Jr. has great level design, and it also adds new twists to his Pop's run and jump template that ultimately helped to move the genre forward for years to come. Plus, unlike the stripped-down port of the original Donkey Kong Jr. came to the NES in a virtually identical form as its original arcade form. So in many ways, Jr.'s NES game is a much more faithful port than his dad's. Yet another one of Nintendo's earliest blockbusters, Donkey Kong Jr. ensured the company's marquee franchise stayed on top. Unfortunately, that wasn't for long. With the next year's disappointing Donkey Kong 3, the iconic ape went into a decade-long hibernation his handlers seemed unwilling to interrupt. It took a certain British studio, and a certain game we'll review as our official, unofficial Donkey Kong Week continues, to bring the series back to the forefront. And that game, arguably one of the very best platformers of all time, took plenty of gameplay cues from this game. Very much a classic in its own right, and perhaps one of the best sequels Nintendo made in the 1980s, Donkey Kong Jr. is a great platform game that's still more fun than a barrel full of monkeys.